Can you hear me? How are you guys doing? Good? Oh my. I got so many wires here, it's all tangled up. Give me a second. Hey buddy, what are you doing? Graphite and cigars. Hi Megatot. Hi my Logify. And play tilt hertz. Let's do my microphone a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay, how are you guys? Good? It's like what, 12:45 a.m. and I think I just woke up like 2 hours ago. My sleeping habit is gone to somewhere else because they were doing renovations. Okay, I stay on the 5th floor, right? It's an apartment block, right? So I'm staying on the 5th floor, and there's this house there already above me on the 9th floor, not on the 6th, but on the 9th floor. So Thursday and Friday they were like hacking away because they were doing renovations. A new owner came in, and normally I'll go to bed right 7 a.m. in the morning, right after the videos and everything. I couldn't sleep at all because it was like so loud, and they were doing like 2 pneumatic drills at one time. So, and you know, this vibration and noise, they travel throughout the building, so it was really bad. And I'm a musician, you know, I'm used to like loud decibel, but amplifiers, drums, I can take it, you know. But when it comes to 2 drills happening at one time, I get all stressed up, you know, and I couldn't sleep. I got headache. My stomach started acting funny. My stomach always acts funny when I'm under stress, so I know that I'm under stress. Couldn't sleep for two days. So, you know, they finally stopped drilling today, and I finally got much needed sleep, you know. So, but my timing, my sleep clock is all in a mess. Hi, hello Ian, how are you? Sure. Hi Steven from Tulsa. Hey. Yeah, I've been there. Nice place. Lots of cows. Lots of cattle. Sorry. How are you doing, Ellen? How are you doing, Ellen? Ellen. How are you doing? Hold on. Let me get a sweet out of my mouth first. How are you doing, Ian? My regards to the missus and the kids. Any stories about working with Hong Kong music legends? Not a lot. I don't work with them a lot. Occasionally, back then. What stories you want to hear? I know for one thing, as it is with every industry, especially the film industries, and nobody is what they appear to be. Yeah, there is always a different side to that person, no matter how glamorous that person would be on the social media platform, you know. And back then we didn't have like Instagram or Facebook, but you know how it is, like, you know, the film industry and everything, they are not as what they perceive to be publicly. Yeah, so interesting, you know. I came to know at an early age when I was doing a couple of stuff in Hong Kong, and hanging out with people, because my brother Eric, you know, I was doing like production for him, so I went to Hong Kong to record, and sometimes there was these artists and actors will pop by because they're friends with Eric, and you can tell that they respect him a lot because he's a great songwriter and a singer. So they became friends, and they'll come down to the studio, you know, and I get to meet them. Eric will introduce me to them. I once met the incredible Leslie Chung. Yeah, I met Tony Leung. You know, Shang-Chi, Tony Leung. I met Aaron Kwok. I met Andy Lau. Yeah, so everyone is different. So you get to see another side of them when they are more relaxed and they don't have to put on a facade or anything like that. So it's truly interesting. So when I was at that age, 30 plus, I kind of know that, you know, yeah, we can be all sorts of character in front of the screen, in front of the camera and everything. But you know, I believe that we just stay true to who we are. I think that's the best. And I had the utmost respect for all these artists that I mentioned, because yeah, they didn't carry on with the facade, you know, and they're nice people. Pepe, hey. Pepe, how are you? Ian, coughing and spluttering, but other than that, just tired. Oh no. Thanks, John. Hope the family is not too grumpy up to this. Well, the family is fine, if you believe it or not. It was me, the grumpy old man, was terribly uncomfortable. Hi, Ben. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Hi, Nick. From South Carolina. Wow, cool. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Okay. The Bad Monkey scandal. What's that? I didn't even know about it. Tell me about it. Great View Mirror. Hello from Switzerland. What's the word? Guten Morgen. No, I think it's Guten Nick. No, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Pepe. I don't know what scandal you're talking about. Ian, does that mean the whole family had flu? Or just you? No, I don't know about that. If they raise the price, then, you know, they raise the price. So I hardly see why is that a scandal, because they are the retailers. If they decided that they want to raise the price, then they raise the price, and then they will have to face the consequences if sales are not good. So, you know, I don't know why is it a scandal. That's true. Graphite. Hi, Pat. Wow, that's crazy. I won't pay so much for a pedal, because unless it's really warranted. You know, a couple of pedals that I don't mind paying for it. One of them is the V Twin, and the other, of course, is the Origin Effects Kali 76 stack, and the other one will be the what you call that, that booster from Exotic. What is it called? Yeah, the RC booster. Yeah. Influences. What have they got to do with them? Pepe, explain yourself. You mean they'll be like pushing for this pedal to be sold, or what? What do you mean? Hi, Mark. How are you? Somehow, I think you're not far from the truth, Graphite and Cigars. Okay, today something came in today. This is local, not overseas, so it's a pedal. Something that I was promised. Okay, Ian. You take care. Yeah, I know how it feels. So, this came in today. This is a Gavner from Marshall. I've been waiting for this. So I spoke about the 4 Marshall pedals that were released. These are all reissues. Yeah, the Drive Master, the Blues Breaker, the Shred Master, and then the Governor. So this is the most popular of the whole lot, right? And the Drive Master is actually a version of this, but with more gain, basically. So I'm gonna review this soon enough. And thanks, Sweetie, for this. Oh, Steven, that's great. Graphite and cigars, I did 3 reviews so far, so you can check it out. You can check them out. Play 2 Hertz, I got my Bat Monkey when they weren't popular, got it for 35, so it worked both ways. Yeah, I've been influenced, yeah. I've been accused of one. Yep, I'm considered an influencer or influencer. Nah, I don't want to be considered an influencer. I always state that you guys own your own money. You guys keep your own money. You decide how to spend it. I'm just like showing you stuff, and that's it. I'm not asking you to go out and buy it. I mean, if it's a great product, like if it's a great guitar, yeah, I'll say, okay, this is highly recommended. But if you can't afford it, no way. I don't expect you guys to go, all out to go and get this guitar because I told you to. I never claim to be an influencer in that sort of way, and I will never do that. I think gears are very personal and subjective to each individual taste. Gears, guitar, whatever, amplifiers, whatever, So I've started this channel partly to educate young players because they're so influenced by these influences and that they have no mind of their own, and something popular pop up, they'll buy it. Some artists plays this, they'll buy it, not knowing whether it will suit their style of playing or at their level of playing. So like if I were to do a review on James Tyler, it's a review, it's not like selling it for them because I'm not endorsed by them in any case. Or for the matter, even for those that I endorse like Pauletti, these are guitars that are in the market. Take a look at it, if it suits your kind of playing, your kind of sound, or your level of competency, then get it. But if you don't want to get it, fine, get something else, So there are certain brands that I don't really like. I think all of us are the same, we are all individuals, so we have our own personal dislike and likes, and those are the brands that I would probably not review too much. But sometimes they do come up with, once in a while they'll come up with great guitars, and I would do it because it's a great guitar, even though from a brand that, like, take for example PRS, for example. I don't like the company PRS, not really. Yeah, in a way, way before, before I considered them like snobs because they were owned by snobs, so I made the connection. But their guitars were priced at really high above range, and I saw some of the videos that Paul Reed Smith done, and it wasn't too. Yeah, anyway, that's my own preference. So nothing against him, nothing against the man, nothing against the company. Just don't like the whole concept. But yet I own 3 PRS. They have great guitars, so I cannot deny the fact that even though I don't like the company, or I shouldn't say don't like or dislike the company, that I don't have much favor for the company. They do make good guitars. That's the truth, and I cannot stray from the truth. So yeah, you get that, and sometimes you get nice companies, like companies that are like Fender, for example. I've been a fan of Fender guitars since back then, but then sometimes they come out with stuff that are really below par, and yeah. So every company has their ups and downs. Certain models can make it, certain models cannot make it, and then there's the QC, the quality control, and it's you as a buyer, the person that forks out your hard-earned cash, to decide whether you want to pay money for this guitar or not. It's your decision. You shouldn't get anybody to influence you just because it's pink and so plays a pink guitar. Not because it's green, because so and so plays a green guitar. Or not because it's made of stripes, red and white, because someone plays that guitar. You have to decide on whether that guitar is suited for you. And the only way to do it, I know it's hard because it's a bit intimidating for young players, because they go into a music shop, they go like surrounded by all these beautiful guitars, they don't know what to choose. And that's where a good sales personnel comes in, because go to a shop that has good sales personnel. I've been to shops where they don't give two hoots about you, they just leave you alone, which I think is good too, until you ask for help. And that's where you can tell the quality of the salesman, whether are they interested in selling you a product. I've been to Guitar Center, and in fact, most of the times, the guitar sales personnel there are really good, and they'll come and they'll ask you, and then if you just tell them, say, I'm browsing, they'll just leave you alone until you ask for help. And they'll come and they'll bombard you with all sorts of offers, like, I got this voucher for you, and all that, just to make the deal sweeter when he sees that you're interested in the guitar. So that's a good sales personnel, but that is for just the sales. In terms of you trying the guitar and loving it, that's where a good salesman will really convince you to own a guitar, looking at you and the way you play and your competency. So if that salesman is really dishonest, he will sell you something else. But if that guy is really honest and a good guitar player and he understands, he will probably tell you certain stuff that you need to know. And we need to know information, and that's why I put out all sorts of information if I can, like the fret radius, the nut width, what is this made of, the neck shape, and all these are important, because it helps you to kind of get a rough picture of what this guitar is all about. And then when you're playing it, you kind of know, okay, so this is the medium jumbo frets, or this is the jumbo fret that Jonathan was talking about. Okay, this is stainless steel, this is not stainless steel. What's the difference? Not much of a difference, but in years to come there will be a different side to it, because then you get like little notches on the nickel frets instead of the stainless steel. That's the only difference. And stuff like that, the woods and all that. And all these are all subjective, all very personal. So if you like the look of the guitar, heck, go and get it. But if it doesn't sound good, then you decide whether you are going to live that look and change the pickups, or get another guitar. So it's up to you, because you're the one who's forking the money. You have the right. You have every right. Ian, we can't all sound great with just a Tele and a Roland micro Q. But we always should try this first. Right? Stephen, have you ever explored open tuning on guitar, and ever had to when recording? Yes, I did. I did, Stephen. I did a couple of what you call that, Martin acoustic guitar reviews that I did with open tunings, or sometimes with a drop D. Graphite and cigar, the Bad Monkey thing cracks me up in regards to the clones. Yeah, there are over 30 pedals that clone that circuit, and many do it very well. They also sell far less than the inflated Bad Monkey, and that's why it's called a Bad Monkey. Yeah. John, what are YouTube guitarists you like? Well, that's a tough question. I like a couple of them. Who would I like? Who do I like? Well, Tim Pierce, of course, is one of them. But Tim Pierce is a session guitar player. Yeah, I think he's the only guy that commands my respect. There's a couple of guys, but I have to go back and I don't watch other people's YouTube too much, because I don't want to be influenced. Imagine an influencer being influenced by other influencers. So I try not to watch too much YouTube reviews of guitars, because I don't want the channel to influence my take on that product or on that gear. As far as guitarists who appears regularly on YouTube, I would say Guthrie Govan. He is the one. He's the man. Yes, Mega thought it's so subjective. if people saw Eddie's Frankenstein in a pawn shop, they wouldn't give $100 for it. PRS are like the Mercedes of guitars, John. They are driven by Porsche people too, aren't they? Well, not really. And I just discovered a sort of a Bentley. The Bentley of guitars. And they're so, pardon my French, are bloody expensive. Like, you know, you're talking about a guitar for at least about 10 grand. Singapore dollars. So we're talking about US dollars, 8,000. Really, yeah, we're talking about a James Taylor US made guitars. Those are like, and that's another whole area which I which I don't want to go there, you know. Christopher, from your experience, what is the best budget volume pedal? How do you set it in the pedal board? You know, I'll say this again. There are pedals and there are pedals. So there's no such thing as a best budget pedal. Period. There are budget pedals. And like I said again, you have to weigh in everything. Like the guitar they're using, whether it suits that pedal, and when that pedal goes out to an amp, does it suit that amp? So you can get yourself a expensive, like a Revival Driver Origin Effects, like $500 a pop, and discover that it's tiny sounding because it's probably the amp, probably the guitar. So you have to put into consideration everything. You know, the guitar that you're using, the way you play, the amp that is going into, you know, and how you set your pedal. You can get really good sound from cheap pedals, from Joyo or from Newegg. We're not talking cheap, affordable pedals. So far, I've been very, very impressed with the ones from Newegg, basically, because I think they make really good pedals, individual pedals, like, you know, their drive, and above all, this is the one that I push for, the Matsumi compressor and booster. I think this is a great pedal. I think this is a pedal that you must have because it's so affordable. You can just stick it in your pedal board and let it be always an always on pedal, and kick in a booster every now and then if you need that. And then there are other like compressor or other drives and stuff. So yeah, that I would say Newegg would be the one. All right, so just take a look. Building a podcaster because it's what I want. No influence. New Seafoam green bullet thread. Put a classic vibe. Nice. Still waiting. Okay. Oh, nice. Looks good. Capatas. Road Dog. There's bedroom players using gear and that pros would have dreamed of years ago. They're so spoiled these days. You tell me about it. I'm a happy owner of a camper. Don't need to worry about pedals. Same here. I'm an owner of a Helix Line 6. You know, a Line 6 Helix. I don't have to worry about that too. But you know, it's nice to play with pedals every now and then. Ian, a friend who did the recent, now have a lovely podcaster. Oh, cool. Oh, this is awesome. I'll play exactly when you want it. There's a special thing that happens when you decide. Yeah. Jack Collins, how are you? Bentley Turbo is definitely the way to go, like a Murphy Labs. Ah, the Murphy Les Paul. Yes. The Carmelita, so sweet. Of course, I have a Mini, so what do I know? Well, at least you have a car, Ian. I don't have a car. I sold my car like 6-7 years ago. Never looked back then. Never looked back since. And let's get this over and done with. Okay, a couple of guitars here. So I'll revive some of the G&L guitars. Isn't it lovely? This is the Stingray. Is it Stingray? No, this is not the Stingray. What is this? Why did I say the Stingray? What is this? This is a Skyhawk, sorry. This is a Skyhawk from G&L. Funnily enough, this is from this CNF factory, if you're not mistaken. Yes, and this is a Fullerton Deluxe. Really nice. I think this is Swamp Ash. I think this is a Swamp Ash body. With a nice sunset tobacco kind of finish, with the 3 single core MFD pickups, you can see, and the dual fulcrum tremolo system. I just like this part here. I find it so cool. Right, there's a switch here for you to activate the parallel, if you're not mistaken. Parallel switching. Nice. Yeah. So I'm gonna review this again. I think I reviewed one of these, but maybe in a different configuration, or maybe the same configuration, not too sure. Nice, beautiful. Then you have a very traditional Telecaster, but of course this is a different take from the Tele. This is a GNL ASAT. I just like the bridge, the way it's you know, you can see the brass saddle opposed to the black spring. I find it really nice, you know. And then it has a very almost bare kind of feel for the neck. Satin, but you know, it's almost bare maple neck with the maple fretboard. I know this will sound good. I tried this before. Although I gravitated to the Blues Boy, and the neck is so comfortable. This is like a Slim C, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Again, I think this is again a Swamp Ash. I think so. Could be outer, I don't know. But you can see the grain here. I like the fact that it's all like rounded off, and the belly cut. So it's not like your usual Telecaster where you have all these blocky corners. This is all like really comfortable to cater to your body. Nice. That's good to know, Ian. What's up? How are you? Nitro, or I think it's nitro. I'm not too sure, but I think it's nitro. Yeah, this is not polyester. 2011 GNL Nitro Swarm Ash Tribute Legacy is my #1. Cool. Alright, and if you haven't watched the last video that I did, okay, so again, this is like also rounded off. This is a square, right? Really nice, no belly cut, but this has the Vega Tram VT2, right? This is a old in case you guys don't know, this is an old Squire vintage modified Telecaster, because it has a Jazz Masters neck bridge, neck with a headstock, and then a normal Telecaster body. But really nice Telecaster body. This is a basswood body, made in Indonesia. You know, can you beat it? It came with a black pickguard. I had it changed to a tortoiseshell, which I think suits this whole look. And then pickups are not really that good. It had a, if I'm mistaken, it had a P90 here. Hence I had Wayne fixed on these EMG TX, if I'm not mistaken, Telecaster pickups, you know, with the SBC control. So this doesn't act as a tone. This guitar has no tone switch or tone knob whatsoever. So yeah, it only has the SBC control and a volume, and that's it. And 3-way, no 4-way, which I didn't want that. So I just wanted to be a basic rocking Telecaster. I had a very nice bridge, or rather a the whole ashtray kind of bridge thing, which Wayne procured for me, which is really nice. But I thought I fixed this with this Vegatram VT2. I want to thank Vegatram Andres for passing this to me. I've loved their VT1, so this is their VT2, and I like the fact that you can actually float. You can see that this is floated in a way, right? So you can actually float it and play stuff with it that not as responsive as a VT1, right? You need time for the springs, because these are all like attached springs on the. See, there's no body through, string through anymore, because it's all top loaded. The strings are all top loaded, as you can see. All right. So this is where all the springs are at, where they use the cavity of where the strings used to be to have 6 springs there, and then you have little knobs here that you can kind of adjust the tension, so you can loosen the tension in such a way where the bridge floats a little bit, and then you can do more fluttering and stuff like that. Yeah. I've seen some guys in the internet doing reviews and had it all flushed down, all locked down, and all they can do is just to go down, which I think defeats the purpose. Tuning wise, you're gonna have some problem because the tally nut and everything might not be suited for a tremolo system, so you might need to work on that nut. I had to work on my nut a little bit, that nut, okay? I had to work on it a little bit so that I wouldn't get too much of a tuning problem. Most, to tell you the truth, most tremolo systems have tuning problems whatsoever. Even the Floyd Rose, when you first started stringing on a Floyd Rose and locking down, the tuning will run, and it's after a while, after playing and stretching, and then everything will just kind of settle in, and then it just stays perfect. The VT1 has the same thing. It works exactly like a Floyd Rose, behaves like a Floyd Rose, but it's not a Floyd Rose. So that's why I'm so impressed with the VT1. The rest of the tremolo system that I play with, the 510s, the dual fulcrum, the other ones by Goto, I forgot the no, the other ones from not from Goto. What's the other one? Oh man, I forgot the other brand, famous brand. Anyway, so all these, right, the tuning will run after a while when you're playing it, but once you get it stretched and everything, you will just stay in tune. Like, so right here a little bit. It's very subtle, okay? So it's not like the rest of the tremolo system where just a little bit of touch you can actually hear it. You have to be a little bit more animated. And I was like hanging on for the longest time because I know that it involves drilling 2 holes for you to mount this plate here. This is a fulcrum plate. This is where the plate is situated, where you can fulcrum this. Have this acting as a fulcrum for the bridge, so you can kind of pivot up and down. And I was thinking, like, which guitar should I use? This is the perfect guitar because the other tally that I had, the PT Special from Schecter, I had that with the you know, the virtual Jeff tremolo system, which I thought really works with that guitar. So that is settled. Then and the other one is the 4节 5th anniversary Telecaster, which I love. I just love the way it is, the way it looks. I'm gonna change the bridge pickup to one of Wayne's overwound pickups. I asked him to wind one for me, and I just want to keep it like that, you know, just the way it looked. And my second thought was this, because it's already been modified. Why not go all the way out for this? And yeah, it works. Like, I like it. So this behaves almost like a Bixby, not exactly like a Bixby. I find that this stays in tune more than a Bixby. Sometimes the way, I don't know, once you don't have it set up right, most of the time it's the nut. It's how the bridge corresponds with the nut. And if you're playing on a Telecaster with no moving parts, fine, you can get away with murder. But once you incorporate a tremolo system where there's moving parts, then that's where problems start to pop up. And there are many ways to rectify the problem if you know how to do it. Yeah. So there are a couple of videos that slammed the VT2 for being a failure and all that. In fact, there are many people who wrote to me, so I use subscribers too, who wrote to me complaining about the VT1 and how, you know, it doesn't sit in and all that. So all these things you have to like investigate. I know it's a pain in the ass. You will probably want to buy something off the shelf and had it fixed on flawlessly, perfectly. No, not in the real world. It does not happen. So you can get a guitar from the shop and, you know, play beautifully in the shop. Oh, awesome. Go back to the house and then you found out that, okay, I got a nick here. Oh, the switch is not working properly. I hear intermittent. I got crackle, and you know, all these things you gotta work out yourself. Tuning doesn't stay in tune after I wang my bar. You got to go and find out what's the fault, because every guitar is like, you know, they're made, and these are all like affordable guitars. These are not like $8,000 a pop or $10,000 a pop. These are all like, you know, a couple $100, or, you know, maybe it's $900, even $1,000 or $2,000 guitar. They are mass produced. They are being scrutinized, they've been quality checked and everything, yes, but they are not being played for long hours, right? So that's where you pay the top dollars for a custom shop as opposed to a normal guitar. Custom shop guitars are like really worked on, you know, by these craftsmen who know what the heck they're doing. So they will try to make a guitar that you are comfortable with. Tuning doesn't run. I haven't played on a custom shop guitar so far that had problem with tunings. Not one. I swear, not one. Not one, okay? And it's amazing. And you understand that, oh, okay, I pay top dollars for this. And I played guitars from Harley Benton to some expensive PRSs or, you know, other guitars, you know. They sometimes don't stay in tune really well, you know, and you have to work on it a little bit. And most of the time when I get all these guitars from the shop, I don't work on it because they're not my guitars to begin with. And I have to return them to the shop, and I don't want them all, you know, worked on. And I don't think I should be the one doing that. So I had a hard time, you know, sometimes when I'm doing reviews for this, I have to be perfectly honest to you. Sometimes I have a hard time playing on the reviews because they don't stay in tune. So I have to, like, you know, try to do my best around it. So sometimes you can hear a little bit of a off tuning here and there. In fact, for this video, right, for this VT2, you can hear a slight detuning kind of stuff happening because it was just getting used to. I just installed it and I just did a video. I didn't even have time for this to like settle down. Today, right now, it's all settled, so it stays in tune really well, and that's the thing. So you have to understand that sometimes you need time for a tremolo system to settle down, you know, especially with the springs. Now let me give you an example. The Power Lady guitar that I had, my signature model, when I brought it to the States, you know, I before I brought it to the States, during the rehearsal, I had it all set up, you know, the spring tension and everything. So when I went out to the States, because of the the temperature changes and everything, and you know, the fact that the guitar has been there, and then when I started playing for the first show, I noticed that my springs were looser. Yeah, it just gotten looser, and I had to tighten them a little bit, you know. And by the time it came to the second show, it was coming a little bit looser, so I had to tighten it a bit. And when I got back to Singapore, after the 2 US show, I found that my neck was like loosened because of again the temperature change. So I had to tighten my neck and then check the springs again. In this case, the springs was just stretched. They're always stretched, so they're already there in place. So I didn't have problem, and I didn't have problem with the guitar whatsoever until today. No problem with the tuning, nothing at all. Playability, 100%. You know, so you get what I mean. So you need time to kind of wean in your guitar in a way, because if it's a new guitar, you need time for it to settle down. Okay, I've been rambling. Sorry. Where are we? David, hey John, how is it going? You can't go wrong with Yamaha. They make quality guitars. Yes, and sometimes the Japanese made ones are really perfect. That I can see. You know, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Henry R, this is one reason I love this channel. I recently got my first GNL 5 S5. Oh, that's a great guitar. I love it. Channel is like GNL Central. Used to be like GNL Central. It went on to become a PRS Central for a while, you know, and yeah. Meta Taro, good evening. Good evening, Meta. Good Nick. Grover? No. What's the other one? You have sorry, Wilkinson. Yeah, Wilkinson, that's the one. What's up? That's bloody clever using the original body stream through. Yeah. Okay, there are advantages and disadvantages. The advantages is that yes, it makes use of the holes to incorporate the springs. The disadvantage is that you need time for it to be stretched, because you're talking not just 3 springs, you're talking about 6 springs. You know, so it take a bit of time. So what I recommend guys to do when they get a VT2, which I never state in the video, because you know, probably do another video later on, but is to wang the heck out of this, you know, just up down with force, you know, just do this, you know, and you can hear creak it there. That's from the springs. And pull up, you know, if you have some float, bring it again, pull up, bring it, and then tune, and then it will stay in tune. See, it's in tune. So you need to wear down the springs a little bit and put it outside in your room so that it gets used to the environment around you. Don't put it in the case, put it outside the room. If you are afraid of your strings being rusty, cover your strings, you know, and stuff like that. Oh yeah? No, it does not. You can actually loosen this, Ian. You can actually loosen this and it just goes down if you want to, and pick it up again if you want to. I had it tightened because I wanted to be there all the time. I'm so tired of my tremolo arm going sliding back and forth, and I need to grab it. I couldn't find it. You know the feeling. So I had it in a way where, and anyway, this is like a Bixby. So the Bixby has a very fixed bridge. Again, treat this like a Bixby. Don't treat this like a normal tremolo system. Yeah. You can hear some creaks when you're putting up because of the springs, you know. So this is what I meant. After a while, you just go away. My third string is like almost a tone. In fact, a full tone. Yeah. Cool. All right. That's it for today's show and tell. I'm expecting some guitars to be coming in real soon from Harley Benton. So these are the anniversary models, which I'm not supposed to divulge any more information. But they are really nice. All I can say is that I think there's a date for me to release the videos as expected. but I'm not gonna follow that date. I'm always a couple of days or sometimes a month later, you know, just to keep up the hype of it. If it's not really. Sometimes I don't have the guitar so early. So in this case, I think they're sending it to me, and I think the release date is on the 1st, or maybe somewhere in April, early April. We'll see. All right. Graphite, and I had my custom made in 96. It cost, wow, 2,200 back then. I just ran the exact same build. It would cost 5,004, and make it today because gold is so expensive now. Oh yeah, it is. Nice. Ibanez H tremolo bridge was very nice. Stay in tune. Yeah, that's the thing, because I haven't played on the Ibanez for the longest time. You know, I don't know why. I'm trying to rectify that problem actually. Hey Dennis, how are you? Guitar is like everything else, break-in period. Yeah, like a horse, you know. Bruno, good evening. I think it's about time you get your own signature guitar, but we'd like to see what you would choose. Oh. Bruno, yeah. No, just for to say, I have my own signature guitar. Want me to show it to you? As well, since you're on show and tell. Let me key on this guitar so I don't want to scratch them. There are a couple of questions that came in, like, should I buy a tribute, or should I buy, what sort of GNL guitar should I buy? It's really up to you and your budget. I myself would tell you to save your money and not just spend it on a tribute. Save your money and make sure that you save enough and get a Fullerton Deluxe. It has to be a Deluxe. You will be very glad that you did, because it's more expensive, yeah, but you'll be very glad that you did, because the workmanship, everything is there. And the way it plays. Now, that's all I can say about the Fullerton Deluxe. Am I influencing you guys yet? So Bruno, just for you, this is my John Cole signature guitar from Paoletti. Alright, reverse headstock. What is maple, roasted maple neck, roasted maple fretboard, bone nut, lock-in tuners. Are these lock-in tuners? Oh, they're not? Oh, they're not. Oh, great. Cool. Because the tuner works perfectly anyway, so I don't have them to be like lock-in tuners. What is it? What did I say? How many 100 years old? I forgot. Hundreds of years old chestnut wood from wine barrels. You have brass plates. It's in case you haven't noticed, it's on a teddy kind of a shape. Now this is without any belly cut, nothing like that. You have 5-way switch, because I have 3 pickups here. I have a P90. These are all from Paoletti. It's a P90. This is a single coil, and this is the humbucker. I think this is the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, humbucker, which I like. And then their OEM, their own tremolo system. All made of brass, so crazy. All right, so you think that, oh, these all like brass made are pretty heavy. No, they're not. They're actually quite light, because this is, after all, a semi-hollow with an F-hole. The P90 sounds really good. So you notice they have like wooden pickup covers. All right, output jack in the back here, also with a brass plate. And the back you have the brass plate, the brass plate. Right, so this is my signature guitar. It's available in Paoletti, so check it out in the website. Okay. Got 3 HP boxes looking like they were airdrop. Okay. If you order 3 at one time, shipping was like, yeah. That's the thing about Harley Benton or Thomann. You need to order a little bit more so that you save on shipping. Yes, Bruno, I did. I requested actually for a what you call it, this bird's eye neck. But unfortunately, during the time when I was packing this was like towards the tail end of the COVID, so they were in short supply. They will want me to have that bird's eye, but don't have it on stock. So I just told them, say, okay, never mind, because I was trying to rush this for the US trip that I was doing, that I did last November. So I just had them give me the roasted maple neck, and then the rest of the pickups, yes, I expect all those, because I was like thinking the safest bet would be to make this like a Nashville Telecaster, but with a trem system, of course. That's the one thing that I really wanted. And then I thought maybe let's just go a little bit crazy. So let's have a P90 instead, because I love the P90s on their. We call this a Nancy series because Nancy series are typical Strat teddy shaped guitars from Paul. So I tried one of them and I love the P90. So I said, okay, let's have a P90, a single coil, a Strat single coil middle position, and a humbucker, which I told them the model that I wanted. I forgot the model. I think it's Rock something, or 80s Rock or something like that. So these are the ones that I expect, and the rest is I left it to Mr. Paoletti himself to kind of figure out what I need. And strangely enough, he probably saw, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, he probably saw my videos, and he decided to give me a 43mm nut instead of the normal 42.5. 43mm is kind of like, it's not that big. We're talking about millimeters after all, but yeah, I'm comfortable with that shape, and nice. I love playing on this guitar. It's easy to play. Mini jumbo frets. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Thank you, Mark. Dennis, Harley Benton are cheap enough to be able to do mods with sweet days. Yes, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, somebody told me that it was like this channel is like GNL Central. It used to be a HB Central, Harley Benton Central. So I would get them. At that time, I was still buying guitars from them. So I would buy these guitars, like the Black Paisley. In fact, the Black Paisley Harley Benton Telecaster was the first Harley Benton purchase. And I remember the night when I decided to get one, because I was in a living room with my wife, and we were watching YouTube, and then this guy came over, and I like this guy. I forgot his name. He's an educator actually, and he used to do a lot of lessons online. So he was like reviewing this Harley Benton Black Paisley, and I was looking at it and going, okay, sounds great, Then he actually mentioned the price, and I'm going, what? So my wife was just beside me, and I said, hey, should I buy this? And my wife go look at the price and go, yeah, why not? Go for it. Little did she know that that was the start of a great adventure for Jonathan. Anyway, bought it. The guitar arrived, and I decided to do an unboxing video, because at that time I was thinking, I was toying with the idea of actually doing a full-fledged YouTube channel, but haven't decided yet. And once I posted that video up, and I found that, wow, it's a great guitar to play, even though the pickups are a little bit lacking, but it's okay. It looks great. It plays well. I had no problem with it. But then when I look at some of the comments that were on the YouTube channels and even on the Harley Benton website, sometimes you get all sorts of, like, the leveling is not there. There are, like, workmanship problem. There are little nicks. For my model, it was like near perfect. There wasn't any flaws to it. Maybe some little paint mark here and there, which is not a problem for me. But guys were bitching to the left and to the right, all because they spent like, what? The guitar cost me like $200, $200+. And I'm going, wow, so this is what I'm going to deal with. These are the people that I'm dealing with in the internet. So, okay, I understand, because it's their money after all, And yet they will spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a relic guitar. It boggles my mind, I'm just at a loss for words. Anyway, So I did my first video on that, and actually did a cover of a solo. That was my first video on that black paisley on my handphone, which is a, if I'm not mistaken, a Samsung or some Oppo or whatever, and it was very badly lit, and I just posted a video, and hey, I got response, and you know, it was an encouragement for me, and that's where I decided, okay, let's just start this YouTube channel and see how it goes for a year. That's the whole thing. And Harley Benton has a part to do with this channel. It was the what you call that word? Ian, help me out here. You're a professor. What's that word? To ignite the catalysm? No, the ignition point. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the ignition point for me to launch the channel. Hey, blame it on me. Blame it on me. Let's go. Catalyst, yeah? Well, since it's here, let's play a little bit. I wonder where is it still in tune. Can you hear the bass? Can you hear the bass? Oh, it's in tune. You're wondering why is there a bass here where when I was playing the other tally with the Vega Tram, it didn't have a bass because that was with the EMG active pickup, so there's no 60 cycle hum. I have a light right on top of the amp here. Can you hear the bass? No bass. Nice, huh? I like the P90. P90 is really nice, and the humbucker, it's very musical even without an overdrive. Look at And guitars with time spent playing or not playing, you're gonna have like little things like pots getting dirty. Sometimes you have like little sound when you're turning the volume knobs or even the tone knobs. You have to you have to maintain the guitar. So that's why I have a lot of maintenance tool, so to speak, for my guitars here. I need to do that because I need to constantly make sure that they're in playing order for me to do my reviews. So one of the best thing to do is a contact cleaner. I got this one from online. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, made in Belgium or something like that. Where's this made from? I can't really see. I know it's not made locally. Well, it's made in Europe, but what I heard is made in Belgium. So this is the, yeah. So this acts as a, not just a contact cleaner, but also as a lubricant. You can actually use this for your pots if you want to, because sometimes your pots might, after years of use and all the sweat and the gunk, sometimes it's kind of like a hard, they get stuck. Not just the sound, but it just gets stuck a little bit. So this is a good contact cleaner to use. And when I first got this this can, I'm going like, hey, where's the nozzle? I don't see no nozzle. And they are very smart. They actually do the nozzle right here. You can see that? That's a nozzle. Right, and apart from that, the rest of the stuff you can use like the cleaners, the wax, the whatever you want to do. I find that this is really useful for me. Basically because of the action that I wanted to go for. Like when I did the Vega Trem VT2, I had to take off my bridge. I had to redo all my action and string heights and everything. So this came in really helpful. So just a revisit. Basically, you have a tool for you to kind of like adjust your string height, and it's all self-explanatory through the videos that they have. It's really easy to use. And then depending on your fret radius, if you're going for a 12-inch or a 9.5, in which case the Squire has a 9.5. I got to use like a 9.5 sort of a guide. Right, this is a 9.5. You see? Okay. So you put this across the string and near the bridge. All right, 9.5. This is 12, by the way. So you just put this across like a couple of centimeters away from the bridge, and then you start playing your strings. And if it's set correctly, all your strings would be like not muffled totally, or not a tone sharp, but just like you hearing a little buzzing, and that's where if you get all uniform like that for your first all the way to your last string, then you have set the correct radius. A bit tricky, because you might not be comfortable. For me, I've like all these years I never depended on these so-called rules. I set my individual string action according to my taste. Why I want to, how I feel comfortable, because my action is not really that low because of the way I bend my strings, and I like it low, but sometimes if it's too low, I find a problem. So I like to set like medium high, but then again, each individual strings is totally different. I don't care about the radius, the Faraman. I don't really care about the radius. So as long as I'm playing comfortably, I can do my runs up and down easily. That's the string height that I want. Yeah. So again, I encourage you guys to not go for like a set rule. We guitarists are rock and rollers. We are rebels. So go through your guitar playing fretboard with the understanding that you have to be comfortable in your fretboard, and not listen to what other people say, like, oh, I got to be real low. No, if you can't play being real, then it's a hindrance. I've seen some great guitar players who has action that are like considered really high, and some really low, because like Tim Pierce has really low fret, and he gets away with a lot of stuff because he's used to it. Likewise, I can get away with a lot of stuff with high or rather medium high action and get away because that's what I've been playing, So it all depends on your own body, the way your fingers are, get accustomed to that. All right, what's up? Bye. Yes, Alex. This is still one of my favorite, not my favorite. My favorite is a Fender. I've mentioned so many times, just hoping Fender will listen and just get me one. The DeVille, the hot rod DeVille. But now this Mesa Boogie, this now discontinued M is also one of my favorite, the Transatlantic 40. Sorry, Henry. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hi, Ecuador. How are you? Good morning. Mark, does the semi-hollow body increase or decrease sustain in electric? I don't necessarily think that you increase your sustain, but I think it adds a little bit of a different take on the overall sound. Some might call it airy because of the F-hole, but I think it adds a little bit more chime. Like I mentioned on the review video of this guitar, I had to adjust my playing for this, especially on high gain, because it's a bit more resonant than the normal solid body guitar. So you are able to get feedback a little bit more easier, but you must know how to tame it. And the way the Paladin guitars are made, especially the ones with the F-hole, they I don't know what's the magic behind, but it sounds really musical. So you have to like kind of like control it in a way, and then you can get away with it. But if you do not know how to control the guitar, this guitar might be a pain. Hi Albert, how are you? Dennis, one guitar low action may work on it. Yeah, exactly. Alex Denton, what about modern amps? No, none. I I never had a desire to go into all these modding amps. I'd rather get a full-fledged tube amp, or this is considered not a modding amp. This is a transistor amp, but in many ways it's modeled after the old Orange, but the Rocker Verb, you know. But it sounds very different. So it has a little bit more different take on it, and that's why I respect the engineer that actually designed this. I did a lot of research about this amp, and I'm really impressed by what the engineer has to, you know, has decided and pondered upon. So it's a great amp, a great sounding amp, both for clean and for the overdrive. Although some of you might have to get used to the Orange overdrive sound. It's not for everyone. I like it, you know, but yeah, I like it, but I don't gravitate to it a lot. You get what I mean? I'm still into my own perception of how a overdrive sound should sound like. So as far as for clean, this amp sounds really good. Yeah. So okay, for more overdrive sound, I will gravitate towards the Mesa Boogie kind of sound. You know, or the Marshall, for example, the Marshall JCM 800, you know, for example. The JCM 800 is not really, you know, but compared to today's standard, it's not really a high gain amp. But if you were to put a booster in front of it, you know, it will suffice. Yeah. Hi, Devin. How are you? My Ibanez is low, my carbon medium feels so much nicer to play. The Ibanez feels terrible with a medium action. I don't get you. You say your Ibanez is low, but then you say your Ibanez, oh, your Ibanez, okay, has to be low. Yeah, so a lot of it also has to be dependent on your fret radius. So I believe your Ibanez fret radius is really flat, like maybe 14" or 12, or, you know, around that region. Whereas your carbon is maybe like, you know, a 9.5 or 10. So again, yeah, it depends on the fret radius. But depending on what kind of music you play, if you bend strings and use the whammy bar a lot, low action can cause fret. Of course, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You like low medium action. Yeah, cool. I mean, I was really surprised at the way the Tyler guitars are at. So the Tyler guitars that I have, the Tyler guitar that I have, has actually medium action in a way. And when I'm banging my strings and stuff like that, I have no problem whatsoever. Even when I'm using the whammy bar, it's set up in that way, you know, in that manner, because as you all might know, James Tyler started somewhere early in the 80s, early 80s, or maybe late 70s. So they are more in tune to what guitars were like in the 80s, even to this day, you know. So they have an 80s vibe to it, and that's why it appeals to guys like me. And playing with the trem and bending a lot has no problem on the whole setup of the guitar. That's why I was so impressed with it. But when you have to play slide, and that's a different matter altogether. So sometimes on certain shows, like for example, this Paoletti, it came in with medium low action, and I love it. You know, I play with it no problem. But when I brought it up to the States, I had to bring up the saddle height just a little bit, just to cater to my slide playing, because I'm playing slide on it on a couple of songs. And you don't want to play slide on the low action because it sucks. It just felt horrible, you know. So I had to raise the action a little bit, so to cater both to fretted playing and to slide playing. So you have to, yeah, adjust accordingly. I love the sounds that come out of my hugest cabinet. Oh, I'm jealous, Dennis. I'm jealous. Hey, AB are designed for shredders. They need action to be super low. Exactly. So they have very flat fret radius too, you know. Your JS120 plays great with low action. Nice. Yeah, I'm not knocking people with low action. I think low action is great. If you do a lot of shredding, you know, intricate arpeggios and sweeping, yeah, low action is the way to go. I have problem with it because when I'm doing bends, I dig my fingers underneath. I don't push my strings against because I'm playing 0/10s. And to sustain long hours of playing like that, you need a guitar that is comfortable for you. So the action also has to be part of the whole solution. Yeah. Yes, whatever works for you. So there's no one rule. But speaking of which, I'd like to revisit some of the earlier subject or rather comments about influences. I was watching this show on Netflix called what's it called? It's a documentary about all the fake pastors, or rather the demented pastors in Korea, all the way from the 70s to the present day, and how girls were so gullible that they actually followed this pastor who is like sex crazed, and he was in operation for almost 25 years or even more. Went to prison for 10 years, came out, started doing the same thing, and people still fall for it. And there are die-hard followers that are like, it just boggles my mind that people are so gullible, and people take advantage of that. At the same time, it's sad. At the same time, it's worrying and very alarming, because we are influenced by certain people, or some people will be influenced by certain teachings. All right, now I'm a Christian, but when I got saved, I didn't follow a person per se, although the tendency to do that was that. But God has given me this wonderful way to encounter pastors who are just like any one of us. I'm not going to judge them, but they fail as a pastor, basically. And I've seen not just one, but countless of them. And I came to realize at a very early Christian age, right? Me and my wife, both of us, we went through all this, and we go like, oh man, it's not the religion that failed. It's not the religion. It's not God that failed us. It's people. People that fail us. False leaders, false teachings, unworthy pastors or teachers who do not preach, who do not practice what they preach. These are the people that gives love a bad name. Yeah, that gives God a bad name, and God is love. So I've come to realize at the early onset of my Christian walk that the only person that I should look up to is Christ himself. And I need to study, and that's why I went to Bible school. But it's my constant everyday understanding of who he is, what he is, how he is, and what should I do to live a life that is worthy of my destination as his son. Not that I'm Jesus Christ, but we are all called to be sons and daughters of God. So that's something that I have to wrap my mind around. And although I fail him almost every day, I fail him sometimes more miserably than others, but the same thing is I just fail him. But I know he's always there to say, hey, get on up, So you stumble, come on up. And I just love him that much. I love him so much because he's always there, not to judge me, but to encourage me to go one step further in my walk with him. And it's so hard in this world because you get faced with a whole lot of distractions. And some of the distractions are not just physical attractions like women, pretty face, guys, and their lifestyle and whatever. It's not all that. It's also about as you grow, your preference changes. You get influenced by other stuff. And that's all distractions from God himself. And sometimes your own pride will get in the way. Like, some people cannot grasp the fact that they are getting old. can't grasp the fact that people are not gravitating towards hiring them because of their age, and they get affected by it, and they get affected by it really badly. I've struggled with that too. I'm not immune to all this. I'm still flesh and blood. So, but I have God to be there for me every step of the way. The YouTube channel is one of the purest example from God. Like, I because of my desire to tell people about Him, I started this YouTube channel. But in the whole process, I get to know a whole lot of people, whether they're atheists or whether they're Christians, that became my friends. And hey, what more can you ask? I play guitar for a living right now. Basically, literally, I play guitar for a living. Guitars for a living. It's not either in the stage or in a YouTube channel. So yeah, God is so good, to me. But the whole concept of being influenced by someone, and when someone says, "Hey, John, you're an influencer right now," I say, "No, I'm a guitar reviewer. That's what I do." I cannot be ending every video like, "Don't buy this guitar because I don't want to influence you." Nobody would send me guitars after that. What I want to do was to tell you that, okay, this guitar is in the market. It's up to you to go and get it. If you want to get it, go ahead, knock yourself out. If you don't. There are guitars waiting in line. I am one of those reviewers that actually sometimes go out and buy a guitar and review it. And in the end, I have to sell it away because I don't have a use for it. And the reason why I don't have a use for it because I can't use it for any other stuff. Sometimes I will buy this guitar and it's constantly being used. Like, for example, my Custom 22, my PRS Custom 22, the Jack Fowler, even the Nick Johnston, and the G&L, the Blues Boy. So these guitars the Martin D35, I use constantly for my work, my session work, my live work, but there are guitars that I buy and then sometimes I just don't use them anymore. Maybe once or twice for a live gig and, sell them away. And this is me, okay? This is not you. You are the consumer. You are the customer, so per se. You have the power to decide whether to buy this or not. It's your prerogative. Don't be like those blind lambs that follow these cults and get brainwashed, and yeah, don't be like them. You're a guitar player, for crying out loud. You have a mind of your own. Guitar players are basically, in my point of view, are one of the most intelligent people on earth. Really, bar none. I'm talking about myself. Most guitarists that I've known are all very highly intelligent. And if you pride yourself as a guitar player, then don't be influenced by influences. Get the guitar that you are comfortable with. Get a guitar that's within your budget. Get a guitar that you like. If you decide to buy an expensive guitar, I don't know what you're gonna get. You can get the cream of the crop, core model PRS or a Carmelita, for example, that costs 14 grand. If you can get this, fine, save up for it and don't bitch about it. Save up and get the guitar. I've known a lot of guitarists who actually own this custom build, so-called exotic builds, and they don't wave their flag around and say, hey, I got this. They just keep quiet on the low down. And because they are either collectors or they are just plain rich. So you can do that if you're both. But if you're just a guitar player like me, working for a living, get a guitar that you want. And if you need something that more high spec, save up for it. That's what I do. All right, Mark. You take care. Dennis, send one over. Dennis, send the what is that? The H&K over. Yes, Devin. Crazy. Albert, John, have you tried to replace the tremolo block with different materials and sizes? So how does I did. Not significantly. It doesn't like, whoa, this is a radical change. No. Very, very subtle. Because you got to understand that this whole connection with the block and the springs to the tram is just at the fulcrum. That's it. So not whole lot. Now, we're talking about brass nut. That's a difference, right? But a brass, even though a brass nut is a difference, it's a very minute difference, but there is a difference. Tremolo block, nah, not really. I bought mine after watching Henning Polly at the factory demonstrating one. Cool. He's great, For all the answers, yes. Graphite power breeds corruption in the hearts of men. John, the powers with God may continue to be blessed. Thank you. Also study from a Bible translated from the original text and not paraphrased version. Exactly. High five, Dennis. Ian, the only growth is spiritual growth. All else is ego and temporary. Very good. Well spoken. Ian. Samar. Hey, Albert. In case you haven't noticed, I don't read Chinese. I can speak it, but I don't read Chinese. Now I gotta translate it. What do you meant? What do you mean? Hold on. Make a fortune. Make a fortune with what? Oh, just keep quiet and play. Yeah. Oh, they made a fortune, that's right. So glad you're speaking to this, John. So many buy the wrong gear to suit them in the style. Guitar playing is not collective. It's a very personal thing. Exactly. There was one time when... Should I say this? Oh, what the heck. I might as well do it. Church players. Church guitarists was buying PRSs. Like, everywhere you go, you see PRSs. Back a decade before, when Hill Saws and Planet Shakers was the craze, everybody was owning a Les Paul. And even though the Les Paul weighs a ton, everybody was playing a Les Paul. And they swung it down low and they were playing worship music with that. And then came the Gretsch. Everybody was buying Gretsch. It was like a wave after wave of different guitars coming in. And it's for me, because I'm from the outside coming in, these are the people who are inside looking out, and I'm a guy who came in from the cold. That's a nice romantic way of putting it. Yeah. And I see this and I get worried, I'm going like, wow, that's pretty strange, So what I did when I was serving in the church, what I did was I got a Harley Benton and I served with it. I was really happy about that. I used the Squire, for a main event in Taipei, which was recorded, released on Blu-ray. It's a worship concert with my brother Eric, and I used that. I didn't use any of my expensive guitars, and there is a conscious effort to do that, not because of the fact that I want to tell people, hey, I'm using a cheap guitar. No. There was a conscious effort because of the songs that are involved. And it needed a tally, but it needed a tally that can do rock stuff too, nice overdrive chords, and this is the one. And because it's been recorded Blu-ray, I didn't want any sound to come out from it. And having a tremolo arm would be a little bit too obtrusive on the worship environment, so I didn't use that too. So I opted for the tally. That's my reason. Now, every decision that I made, it wasn't a conscious effort to show people, hey, I'm playing a poor man's guitar per se. No, it's just that, okay, this guitar is suited for this. Let's do it. On my worship sessions in my church, I used the Harley Benton, I think about twice. And the rest, I actually use a couple of my own guitars, So it's not a conscious effort. But what I'm trying to tell you is that guys will be caught up in this, and they will like buy all the expensive guitars. And anyway, A white Les Paul. Yeah, you're right. You once opened, so your heart is closed, Meta. Schecter's a great guitar, you know. Dennis, is Singapore on a 220? Yes, it's on a 220, but I can always get a converter. Alex, do you have a preferred country or manufacturer when it comes to the place of production of a guitar? Only have guitars made in Japan or in France. I've often been more disappointed by the others. Well, you can't go wrong with guitars that are made in Japan. I've not played on a guitar made in France. I own a couple of guitars made in Canada by Godin, but not in France. So I'm sure that France made guitars are pretty awesome too. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Japan is the one that I prefer. Yeah, basically. Like if you give me a known brand, for example, a Fender, and you ask me to buy a American made Fender Telecaster or Stratocaster, but I have a equal to it that was made in Japan, I would choose the Japanese made model. Yeah, I would do that. You know, people always often ask me why. I just state the most obvious. Number one is the budget, because it is cheaper than the American made ones, and it's better in many ways. Yeah, the quality control and everything is way better. The workmanship is way better. You know, so that's the reason why. No. It's 220. We run on the British system, so it's all 220 volts. No, my heart is still open and the Schecter isn't still. Okay. Yeah, wait for your Schecter. Schecter makes really good guitars. That I can tell you. Even though the ones that are like, you know, they call it the ones that I mean in Indonesia, they are really great guitars. You know, good workmanship too. I think it all depends on the QC, the quality control department of each individual brand. You know. Yeah, you're right. And that's why a lot of multi effects brands like Kemper and Line 6, for example, they have like switchable voltage so that we can use these gears wherever we are. I think I had a problem when I was in the States with my Helix, you know. So yes, I did. I did. Just one, you're not mistaken. Yeah. You can search under my playlist, other wonderful guitars. You will find it there. Why? Why you gonna do that, Albert? You get it from Sweetie? I thought you're based in Hong Kong. I'm sure Tom Lee has it. I can't find my code. Where's my code? Hmm. What happened to the review I did for the code? I remember I did one, just one. Eh? It's missing. Strange. Okay, where would it be? Maybe I search under my channel. There you go. I'm giving you the link right now. Okay, Albert, the link is down. Japanese people are very strict with the quality of their products. The brands made in the US are good, but not consistent like the Japanese. And yeah, exactly my point. Navigators are expensive but awesome. Yeah, they are. Graphite, where the older US guitars are much better. Older US guitars are what I own on a hunt of an MNG Strat. You're on a hunt? Did you see the review that I gave of the hybrid? That's a great Strat. Yeah. If I didn't own a traditional 50s, I would probably get that one. If my fingers get any older and stiffer, I may have to go back to playing with electric. Oh, Dennis, dear Dennis. I remember one time I was conducting a guitar class in church many years ago. We're talking about more than 10 years ago. And a lot of them came, so I was trying to teach them the basic of playing an acoustic guitar so they can lead their worship, help their cell group members to lead worship and stuff like that. And there was this old uncle, he was about maybe early 70s, and he was a taxi driver, a cab driver. And I love him, he's such a gentle person, I don't see him nowadays because I don't know whether where he is. I don't actually see him. And he came and he has arthritis. He had arthritis. So, and he still wanted to learn. And I spent a little bit more time with him. And I was trying to get him to fret certain C chord, and he couldn't do that. So I got to like pry his hands up, and he was fighting with me. He said, "Oh, no!" I said, "Does it hurt?" I said, "No, but it's a big effort." I said, "Yeah, you can do it if you want to choose to do it." And it was burnt into my mind that even though he has arthritis and it's probably painful, he just wanted to play a part, in serving the Lord. And I was so encouraged by him. Many years later, in the year 2012, 11, yeah, before I started on the world tour with Army, I had pain, aches coming in on my joints, here, yeah, and I think on my third finger, it started to have like little sore and pain, and I was starting to get worried, like, what the heck is this? Is this arthritis? And then the thought of that uncle came into my mind, and I was like a bit down. I was asking God. I said, "Lord, what should I do?" And I didn't just stay there and do nothing. I actually went and do some research about joint pains and what can I do. And in contrary to what a lot of people say is like, don't exercise, don't do anything, I did the opposite. I started playing guitar a little bit more, and at the time it came in right on time because I had a lot of stuff to do, like session work, and then the tour is coming, so I need to practice. And it somehow got into the way because I'm starting to feel the ache a little bit more and more. Then I read about fish oil, and there's a whole hype about fish oil, whether it does work or is it a placebo or anything like that. So I decided to get some from iHerb, and I started taking them. And within the course of a couple of months, like about 1 or 2 months, I started to feel, hey, the pain is gone. Yeah, and I don't feel it even today, and I'm going like, wow. So again, you can never tell when certain things do work for people and certain things do not work for other people. But as long as you just don't sit idly by and do nothing, of course the pain is going to come if you don't do anything. And henceforth, I never stopped playing ever since. And I know that if I stop playing for a couple of days, like for example, the last 2 days, I was like deprived of sleep. I can tell the difference. Not the pain though. It's like well, not actually in playing, but in the whole process of making the video, because you're 2 days out of touch. And yeah, that's something that that's life. The normalcy of life has been disrupted. So like for some of you guys, you drive to work, put in your clutch or whatever, head on down to also you what's that word? Good lord, see, I'm losing like certain words. When you guys trans what? What's that word? What's that word when you go to work? What's that word? Anyway, when you guys take a bus or take a train, so that's a normalcy, like tapping your card or whatever. But if you are home for like a couple of days, you're sick or down, and then there's a break to it, and things start to look like a little bit newer for you, like even after 2 days, So I look at life this way, and whatever challenges that might come in, yeah, I look at it with a little bit more of a new take, And the other thing that I learned is not to be influenced by what people say or think. You have your own mind, so decide on your own decision. Never let other people influence you. We're not just talking about these YouTube influencers. They are part to play, but even with friends and all that, don't let them or their action or inaction affect you anyway, because he's privileged to his own thinking, to his own thoughts. Yes, I do, Dennis. I can tell. Great to know that, Albert. The good thing about string instruments is that you can tune to fit fingers palm. Knew a guy with gnarled hands. He would tune for that and sound great. Cool. Transmute? Trans what? Oh man, I gotta get this done. What's that word? Not travel to work. Is what's the word we always use? Commute. Sorry. Not transmute. Commute. Yeah, as we commute to work. Good grief. I use my banjo to get my hands back in shape. The lower stress and rapid movements put them back in good condition. Yeah. Playing helps, in contrary to what people say, don't aggravate the palm. But I think when you start moving your fingers a lot more, then it gets looser, especially your joints. Unless there's a irreparable damage to your joints, in which case I can't do anything. But if you feel the onset of arthritis coming into your fingers, then just continue to play. A couple hours, just play. Yeah. What time did I start it? Oh, it's almost 2 hours. All right, I gotta go. So I just dropped by just to say about just to talk about what are the things that I just presented earlier on. It's good to see all you guys are doing well. Yeah. All right. As usual, I'm gonna pray a little bit, and then you guys go and do your stuff. Yeah. I'm going to do my stuff. Probably have to sleep a little bit earlier today, even though I just woke up. I have a full day of teaching tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. All right. So I thank you, Lord, for tonight. I thank you, Jesus, for all my brothers and sisters, or my brothers, I guess, all of them are guys. Anyway, I thank you for all of them who came and joined me today. May you bless them, Lord, with your continuing protection. Watch over them, Lord. Put peace into your hearts when peace cannot be found. Put happiness, Lord, in place, Lord. I pray also for their families and for their loved ones, that, Lord, that you will watch over each and every one of them. And if anyone is traveling, Lord, grant them journey mercy. Thank you, Jesus, for your favors. Thank you for your blessings, and thank you for your protection, oh Lord. For, Lord, you are the one who put music into our hearts. And, Lord, may we put music into others' ears to bring some joy, Lord, and relief to them. I thank you, Lord, for this wonderful gift on behalf of all of us here. Thank you, Jesus. In your mighty name I pray. Amen. All right. Chicken pigs. No. Looks interesting, though. The light ones. Oh. Cool. I'll check them out. Chicken pigs. Cool. Graphite. Bye. Take care, and God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Ciao.